What if the most powerful thing you could say is nothing at all? What if the most profound statement you could make in your relationship requires no words, no explanations, and no arguments, just silence? You feel it, don't you? It's that nagging, hollow feeling of being overlooked. It's the slow, sinking realization that you are the one who's always trying harder. You're the one who always texts first, crafting thoughtful messages that get one-word replies. You're the one who calls, who makes the plans, who moves your entire schedule around just to get a sliver of their time. You're the one who remembers their favorite coffee order, the story about their childhood dog, the name of their boss they complain about. You put in all the emotional work, crossing oceans of effort for someone who wouldn't even jump over a puddle for you. You feel taken for granted, like your presence is just an expected utility, never a cherished gift. And for all that energy, for all that heart you pour into the connection, you get inconsistency. You get indifference. You get the lukewarm, soul-crushing response of someone who is only half there. You get the deafening sound of silence in return for your efforts, making you feel small, invisible, and foolish for even trying. For years, you've probably been told the same thing. To fix this, you need to communicate more. Try harder. Be more understanding. Explain your feelings for the 10th, the 20th, the 100th time, hoping that this time they'll finally get it. You've been told that a healthy relationship is built on endless communication. But what if that entire playbook is wrong for this situation? What if, when your words have been repeatedly ignored, more words are just more noise? In this video, we're going to explore a different, far more powerful approach. You'll learn how taking a conscious step back, creating intentional space and pulling away your energy, can fundamentally reset a relationship's dynamic. Before we can talk about the solution, we have to perform a deep and honest diagnosis of the problem. Feeling taken for granted isn't just a bad day or a rough patch. It's a slow burn that methodically eats away at your self-worth, making you question your own value. It often starts subtly. You make yourself too available. You answer texts in seconds, worried that a delay might make you seem uninterested. You drop everything to fit their schedule, cancelling your own plans for a last-minute invitation from them. You've become the reliable, consistent, ever-present force in their life. You are the rock. But the problem with being the rock is that people forget you're there until they need something to stand on. Without even realizing it, you've trained them to see you as a permanent fixture in their landscape, not a priority to be cherished. This dynamic is a well-documented phenomenon in relationship psychology, often called the pursuer-distancer or demand-withdraw pattern. You, the pursuer, feel a growing lack of connection and intimacy, so you demand more attention through increased texts, calls, and effort. Before we can talk about the solution, we have to perform a deep and honest diagnosis of the problem. Feeling taken for granted isn't just a bad day or a rough patch. It's a slow burn that methodically eats away at your self-worth, making you question your own value. It often starts subtly. You make yourself too available. You answer texts in seconds, worried that a delay might make you seem uninterested. You drop everything to fit their schedule, cancelling your own plans for a last-minute invitation from them. You've become the reliable, consistent, ever-present force in their life. You are the rock. The research on this pattern is crystal clear. It is tremendously damaging to relationships. A major analysis of over 74 studies, with more than 14,000 participants, found that this demand-withdraw pattern consistently tanks relationship satisfaction, destroys intimacy, and poisons communication. It's not just in your head. This dynamic is a scientifically recognized relationship killer, linked to everything from profound anger and sadness to actual physical health problems. You've become the predictable, inexhaustible source of energy in the relationship. Your constant availability, while well-intentioned, has sent a clear, albeit unintentional message. Your time, your attention, and your emotional energy are not scarce resources. In the unspoken economy of human relationships, scarcity creates value. Think about it. Diamonds aren't valuable just because they're shiny. They're valuable because they're rare. Your focused attention and heartfelt effort are your most valuable currencies. When you give them away for free day after day, with little to nothing in return, you inadvertently devalue yourself in the eyes of the other person. You're not imagining things. You're not being too sensitive or too needy. You've simply become a utility, like Wi-Fi. They don't think about the intricate system that makes it work. They don't appreciate the signal, but they sure as hell expect it to be there the moment they want to connect. Your constant presence has become comfortable, predictable background noise. The goal now is to turn off the music entirely and see if they finally notice the silence. So, what have you been doing to fix this suffocating dynamic? If you're like most people, you've probably tried everything. You've had the talk, maybe several times, where you lay your heart on the table only to have your feelings met with a blank stare or a temporary half-hearted promise to change. You've written long, heartfelt paragraphs over text, carefully editing each word to perfectly explain what you need, only to receive a K or nothing at all. You've asked them, with a lump in your throat, why they're being so distant. You've even tried to be nicer, more accommodating, more fun, hoping that some extra effort, some new version of you will finally get you noticed. This is the chase. And the chase is a losing game, every single time. When you chase someone, you're non-verbally signaling, your validation is more important than my peace. Your attention is more valuable than my time. I need you more than you need me. This immediately creates a massive power imbalance. You're the one auditioning for their affection, while they sit comfortably on the throne, deciding if you're worthy. Psychologically, chasing does the exact opposite of what you want. Instead of bringing someone closer, it often triggers a powerful impulse in their brain called reactance. First identified in 1966, reactance is the deep-seated human instinct to push back when we feel our freedom is being threatened, even by something as seemingly harmless as someone's perceived neediness. Your constant pursuit, your pleading questions, your double texts, they don't feel like love to the distancer. They feel like pressure. Their withdrawal isn't just about them, it's a direct, instinctual reaction to reassert their independence in the face of that pressure. There's also a simple, universal human truth at play. We are intrigued by what we don't fully understand or possess. When you're always there, always explaining yourself, always available at a moment's notice, you leave no room for them to wonder about you. There's no space for them to miss you. You've solved the entire puzzle for them. And for many people, the thrill is in the chase, not the capture. Your predictability has unintentionally made you less compelling. Every unanswered text you send after the first one, every call that isn't returned, every time you ask, "Is everything okay?" Into the void, you're just digging yourself into a deeper hole of disrespect. You're actively rewarding their low effort with your high effort. You're teaching them through your actions that they don't have to do any work because you'll do it all for them. You're enabling the very behavior that's breaking your heart. It's time to stop. It's time to drop the rope. This brings us to the most difficult yet most important shift you can make. The conscious decision to pull back, go silent, and step away. Now let's be very clear about what this is and what it isn't. This isn't about playing manipulative games. This is not the toxic, silent treatment used to punish someone. The manipulative silent treatment is a form of emotional abuse, a passive-aggressive weapon used to create guilt, anxiety, and a sense of control over another person. Its goal is to hurt and punish. The strategic step back we're talking about has an entirely different purpose and a different soul. Its primary goal isn't to punish them, but to preserve you. It's a profound act of self-respect. It's you, finally, quietly, deciding that your peace of mind is more valuable than their inconsistent breadcrumb-level attention. This isn't a game, it's a boundary. You are making a choice to refuse to participate in the demand-withdraw cycle any longer. By pulling back, you're not escalating the conflict. You're simply dropping your end of the rope and walking away from the tug-of-war. In healthy relationships where both people are communicating in good faith, experts agree that you should announce your needs, saying something like, "I'm feeling overwhelmed and I need some space to think." That's the right and respectful move when communication is still possible. However, the unannounced pullback we're discussing is reserved for a very specific situation, the one where communication has already failed. It's for when you've already had the talk multiple times. It's for when your heartfelt words and vulnerable pleas have been met with nothing but defensiveness, dismissal, or indifference. When your words carry no weight, your absence becomes the only message left to send. You don't announce your departure because your previous announcements have been consistently ignored. This isn't a threat. It's the quiet, inevitable consequence of your voice not being heard. You pull back by stopping all initiation. That's it. You stop sending the good morning texts. You stop asking about their day. You stop liking their old photos on social media. You don't need to block them or make a dramatic theatrical exit. You just stop. You become a quiet, still space where a constant stream of your energy used to be. You take all that emotional investment you were pouring into them and you redirect it, consciously and deliberately, back into your own life. You step away from the dynamic, not with screaming anger, but with quiet dignity. The goal is no longer, how can I make them value me? The goal must become, how can I restore my own peace and remember my own value? You're not giving them the silent treatment, you're giving yourself the profound gift of peace. When you stop pursuing and create this vacuum of silence, you radically interrupt the established pattern. Their world, which was built and balanced on your reliable, predictable effort, suddenly feels off-kilter. What happens next isn't guaranteed, but their reaction will reveal everything you need to know about their character and their true feelings for you. This silence acts like a giant, unflattering mirror, forcing them to see the dynamic and their own behavior in a harsh, new light. Generally, their responses will fall into one of two categories. Path A, the response of someone who genuinely cares. If the person has genuine, even if lazy or complacent feelings for you, your absence will likely trigger a painful but necessary sequence of realizations. First, confusion. They'll notice the pattern is broken. Huh? No good morning text today. They might go about their day, but your silence is a small stone in their shoe. They'll check your social media looking for clues. Their routine is disrupted and it feels strange and unsettling. Next, anxiety and testing. As your silence continues into a second or third day, that confusion often morphs into low-grade anxiety. Their sense of control over your attention is gone. They might try to test the waters with a low-effort breadcrumb, a casually sent meme, a one-word text like "hey," or a random reaction to one of your social media stories. They're just poking you with a stick to see if you're still on the hook. It is absolutely vital that you do not respond to these crumbs. If you do, you teach them that a tiny, insignificant bit of effort is all it takes to reel you back in and reset the dysfunctional dynamic. Then, real introspection. When their low-effort tests are met with more dignified silence, the anxiety can finally lead to real reflection. This is the mirror effect in action. Your absence has created a vacuum, and their own thoughts are forced to fill it. Did I do something wrong? Was I taking them for granted? They might start rereading old messages and suddenly see their own lazy, one-word replies next to your heartfelt paragraphs. They might remember the times you reached out and they were too busy. Your side of the story is finally being heard, not through your words, but through their own dawning awareness. Finally, a re-evaluation and genuine effort. If they conclude that they are at fault, a real meaningful shift can happen. The fear of loss, which was once an abstract concept, becomes terrifyingly real. They understand you're not a permanent fixture and that you have a breaking point. Suddenly, your perceived value skyrockets. This is the moment when you might get a real apology, a phone call, a heartfelt question like, "I feel like I've messed things up. Can we talk?" The power dynamic has completely flipped. They are now the one pursuing connection. Path B, the response of someone who doesn't care. However, there's another equally revealing path. If the person is deeply avoidant, narcissistic, or just not that interested in you, your silence will expose that truth with brutal efficiency. First, annoyance and indignation. Instead of introspection, their first feeling is annoyance. How dare you stop giving them the attention they've come to expect? Your silence isn't seen as a consequence of their actions, but as a personal inconvenience and an insult to them. Next, blame and projection. Their ego will not allow them to look in the mirror. It's too threatening. Instead, they'll immediately point the finger at you. You're playing games. You're immature or being dramatic. They will swiftly create a narrative where they are the calm, rational victim of your emotional instability. This story protects their ego from any sense of accountability. Finally, devaluation and replacement. Once it's crystal clear that you won't come running back on their low-effort terms, they'll devalue you to make themselves feel better. "I never really liked them that much anyway. I can easily do better." They'll quickly move on to find a new source of validation, a new person to give them the attention they crave. Your silence didn't make them miss you. It made them angry that their supply was cut off. In this case, you must realize with every fiber of your being, you haven't lost a thing. You've gained absolute clarity. Their reaction is a gift. It is the definitive, undeniable proof that they were incapable of ever giving you the love and respect you need. Your silence was a test of their character, and they failed spectacularly. It revealed a dead end you might have otherwise spent months or even years chasing. While all of this drama is potentially unfolding with them, something far more important and transformative is happening within you. The first few days of pulling back will be incredibly difficult. You'll fight the primal urge to check your phone, to post on social media, to text them, to break the silence. Your brain, addicted to the cycle of seeking their validation, will crave that familiar, even if unsatisfying hit. But if you hold on, if you push through that initial discomfort, something amazing begins to happen. The constant low-grade anxiety of waiting for a reply starts to dissolve. The mental energy you spent obsessively analyzing their behavior, their tone, their response time, their last seen status, is suddenly free. And into that newly created space flows a wonderful, forgotten sense of peace. By removing their influence from your daily life, you start to see the dynamic for what it really was, not what you desperately hoped it would be. You realize how much of your day, your mood, and your self-worth was wrapped up in this one-sided connection. You start to hear your own thoughts again, clear and uninterrupted. You reconnect with friends you've been neglecting. You pick up old hobbies. You rediscover the person you were before you made someone else your entire world. You begin to build your self-worth from the inside out, brick by brick, through your own actions and for your own benefit, instead of waiting for someone else to grant it to you. You learn that your value isn't determined by their inability to see it. You learn in your bones that your happiness does not depend on their presence. You move from a position of needing to a position of choosing, and that is the ultimate power shift. If they do come back and make a genuine effort, path A, they aren't coming back to the old, anxious, overgiving you. They're coming back to someone who has proven to themselves and to them that they will walk away if they aren't respected. They will have to earn their place in your life, on your terms. And if they don't come back, path B, you'll find that after the initial sting of rejection fades, you're not devastated. You're relieved. You have successfully and single-handedly removed a source of chronic stress and anxiety from your life. You've passed your own test, and you've made space for someone who is ready, willing, and able to meet you where you are, with the same energy you've always been willing to give. The journey to unshakable self-respect is a process of setting and holding boundaries, even when it's hard. If this message of reclaiming your power and your peace resonates with you, and you want to keep learning how to build self-worth that no one can take away, make sure to subscribe to this channel and join our community. We're building a movement of people who refuse to be just an option. In the end, going silent and pulling back isn't about manipulating someone into wanting you. It's about creating the necessary space to get a clear, honest answer. It's a truth serum for your relationship. It forces the other person to either step up or step out of your life for good. But more importantly, it proves to yourself that your peace is not for sale at any price. The ultimate goal isn't just to make them miss you. The ultimate goal is to help you remember yourself. When you finally stop chasing, you don't just change the dynamic, you change your entire life. You finally start choosing instead of waiting to be chosen.